Hello students, so back with this in the Abhyas 2.0. This is the first paper I am taking from the JEE chapter test that they have uploaded, and this is a very good paper for practice for JEE as well as for NEET students. I'd say it's a very good practice source. It's not tough, it's just a very usual question, good practice both for JEE and more better for NEET. It's more better for NEET students. I'll advise NEET students to do this, and this is my demarcation here, so what you can make it out, it's almost 7 questions are regarded as easy, 4 red stuff, so that means you're left with 19 questions as the medium one. And here what I can say, it's a doable paper in 30 minutes, and what you can do, it's let's say 19 and 7, what you can make it out, 20, this comes out as 26 means almost 100 is a you can say it's a nice enough score, and anything above 110 would be very good if you do within 30 minutes. And I expect very good students to solve 120 full on here. This is a paper which you can do, and that's why I'm saying it's a perfect one for the NEET students. Let's watch it out. So let's start. Question number 1. The athlete in the Olympic game covers a distance of 100 meters in 10 seconds. His kinetic energy can be estimated to be in the range. Assume the weight of athlete to be between 50 kg and 100 kg. Here, this question originally was asked in some AIEEE examination. I don't remember the year, and there this line was not there, and most of the students got confused how to do, mass is not given, but there you have to estimate that an average athlete mass would be around 50-70 kg, and you have to check the range. Here they have clarified it. So let's say if I take the 50 kg, the kinetic energy would be half into mass into v square. It covers 100 meters in 10 seconds, that means speed is 10. So what we have, 10 square average speed, so that is 25 into 100, so 2500 joule is the starting range. So 2500 joule is the starting range, and as per the options, it is coming only in one of the options. And similarly, if I take for 100 kg, the range would be half into 100 into 10 square, so that would be 5000 joules. So that's the most appropriate one that we can go for here. Next one, two bodies of masses m and 4m are moving with equal kinetic energies. The ratio of their linear momentum is, we know P can be written as root 2mk, k is same, so therefore I can write P1 by P2 is root of m1 over m2, because kinetic energy is same, so it is root of m over 4m, so it comes out to be 1:2, so go for option C without any doubt. Idle spring with spring constant k is hung from the ceiling, and a block of capital M is attached at its lower end. If the mass is released with the spring initially unstretched, that means in the original length, then the maximum extension, you all remember, for maximum extension, don't go for force balance, go for speed 0. And what we do, we take this instant, let's say it was in the natural length, and you just attach the block. Let's call this as x equal to 0, and take the instant when it is at maximum elongated, and let's say this is x max. This gap is x max. So here initial speed was 0, here at maximum extension also speed is 0, because if speed was there, it will go further downwards. So from here to here, I take the system, spring plus block as my system. What I'll say, delta k is 0, no external work is there, so plus earth also we have to include, so w external is 0, so what we can say, delta u spring plus delta u gravitation plus delta k, all change will be 0, delta k is 0. Delta u spring has gained energy, and the block has gone downward, so it has lost with mgh, h is xm, and that is 0, and from here xm you get, that is 2mg by k. That's a standard expression, most of you directly remember this. I just solved to explain for those who have forgotten it. How much work must be done by a force on 50 kg body in order to accelerate it from rest to 20 in 10 seconds? So rest to 20 in 10 seconds, definitely acceleration would be 2 meter per second square. So F is equal to ma, and okay, you don't need to calculate even force. You can directly do from the work energy theorem, which says W net is equal to delta k. So directly you can say that delta k half into 50, final speed is 20 square minus 0 square. So that is 25 into 20 square, that is 400, so that is 100, and this is 00, so it is 10,000 joules, so it is 10 to the power 4 joules. Go for option B. You can also go by force into displacement, but the best method is to go by change in kinetic energy one. Body constrained to go along the z-axis of a coordinate system is subjected to a constant force. Force is constant, And then this is, what is the work done by the force in moving a body at a distance of 4 meter from the z-axis? I think there's a similar question in the NCERT. Because it is going only along the z-axis, work done will be by only the z component. For a constant force, you know, work done is F dot S. So here it would be Fz into delta Z. So that is 3 into 4. So that is 12 joules. So directly go for option A. Engine is attached to a wagon through a shock absorber of length of 1.5 meter. Entire system is a total mass of 50,000 kg going at a speed of 36 you know is 10 meter per second. When the brakes are applied to bring it to rest, in this process the spring of the shock absorber gets compressed by 1 meter. If 90% of the energy of the wagon is lost due to friction, the spring constant is. So that means 90% is lost to friction, that means 10% has gone into the shock absorber. So what we can say, half k into, it gets compressed by 1 meter. It gets compressed by 1 meter, that means the compression we are going to take it as 1 meter. So half k into 1 square, that would be equal to 10%, that is 1 by 10 of the total kinetic initial energy. Half m, which was 50,000, and v square is 10 square, that is 100. So what you have, this 2 and 2 get cancelled, k would be, this 1 0 get cancelled, this would be 5 lakh I suppose. So k is 5 lakh, 5 lakh means 5 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter, that you can, meters not meter square, sorry. So 5 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter. Go for option A. So just read it carefully, you will be able to solve it quite easily. Next one. Two men with the weights in the ratio 4:3 run up a staircase in the time in the ratio 12:11. The ratio of the power is work done upon time. So here you can say is mgh by time taken. So what we have here is the same staircase, so g and h are same, so power is proportional to m by t. So P1 by T2 is M1 by M2 into T2 by T1. So do it. M1 by M2 is 4:3 and T2 by T1 would be 11 by 12. So what I can get, 11 by 9 I suppose. So go for option D. Again not a tough one. Next. Spring of constant 800 Newton meter as an extension of 5. The work done in extending from 5 to 15. You know W would be delta U spring. Delta U spring here would be half K x final extension square minus initial extension square. K is 800, x final 15 square, that is 0.15 square, minus x initial, that is 0.05 square. So it is 400, 0.15 square, that is 0.0225, this is 0.0025. So now what you get, this is 400 into 0.0200, that is I suppose, so that would be 8 joule if you calculate. So go for option B in this particular case. Next, very standard question for you. Typically they ask in terms of W and the multiples. Here they have asked in the terms of the numerical. Shape of the curve representing the relation between the speed and kinetic energy. You know kinetic energy is half mv square. So k is proportional to v square. So you know it would be a parabola. So go for option A. Next one. Force is related to the position. So it's a variable force. F is 10x square. So work done you know will be given by integration 10x square f dx, 10x square dx from 2 to 4. 10x square integration will give you 10 x cube by 3 from 2 to 4. So 10 by 3 I take as common. X cube, 4 cube minus 2 cube. 4 cube you all know is 64. 2 cube you know is 86. So it is 10 by 3 into 56. So it is 560 by 3 joules. Go for option C in this case. Next. Your train of weight 10 to the power 7 Newton running on a traveled track with uniform speed 36, that is 10 meter per second. The frictional force is 0.5 kg force per quintal. Okay, if g is 10 meter per second square, the power of the engine is going to be, okay. So first of all, what is the value of the friction here? So friction force here is 0.5 kgf per quintal. So 0.5 kgf per quintal. So what is this? So if you remember, it's a traditional unit. 1 k quintal is 100 kg. So what we have 0.5 kgf, so 100, and 10 to the power 7 Newton, I can write it as 10 to the power 6 kgf because of g you take as 10. So into 10 to the power 6, that would be what you can say would be the frictional force in kgf. So kgf, or better you can also take it in terms of better write it 10 to the power 7 and take it in terms of Newton. That would be a better thing I suppose. So if I do this, it would be 5 and 10 to the power 4 newtons. So the power of engine is, so power of engine is, because speed is same, it is applying the force equal to the friction, so that is Fv. So that is 5 and 10 to the power 4 multiplied by speed, which is 10. So it is 5 into 10 to the power 5 joule per second, or watt, you can write it as 500 kilowatt. So go for option A. So just a quintal thing that you need to remember. Stone of 2 kg projected up with a kinetic energy of 98 joules. The height at which the kinetic energy of the stone becomes half of its original value. Okay, that means kinetic energy should become 49 joule. That means potential energy must increase by plus 49 joule, and that you know would be equal to mgh. So that h would be 49 over mg. So from the data you can make it out, it should be 9.8. Then only that 4998 figure comes. So this 9.8, this is 5 by 2 means 2.5 meters. So go for option B in this particular case. Next one. Body projected vertically from the earth reaches a height equal to earth's radius. Okay, so it is going to the height equal to earth's radius before returning to the earth. The greatest power exerted by the gravitational forces. So when it is going up, the force would be negative, the power would be negative. When it is going down, it would be positive. And as it goes down in the downward journey, the speed will increase, and also the gravitational force attraction will increase as it comes nearer. So it would be at the instant just before the body hits the earth, there the power would be maximum. Next, in the diagram shown, the potential energy of a particle is plotted against the position x. Then which of the following is correct? A particle is at. Just remember, this is a very nice question we asked to our students. If it is fx curve, look at the points where the f becomes 0, but for the ux curve, you know force is minus du by dx. So for equilibrium, force to be 0, that means du by dx must be 0, which is 0 only at x2 position, and here the energy is making a maxima. So energy is making a maxima, so it is a position of unstable equilibrium. So only x2 is a position which is unstable equilibrium. So as per this, none of the option would be correct. x1, x3 are not equilibrium position for sure. If it would be an fx curve, then the answer would have changed. Particle projected with velocity u making an angle theta with the horizontal, the instantaneous power of the gravitational forces. Again, this is a very nice question that you all remember. You go like this, u at theta, it goes like this, like this, like this. Power at every instant is written as f dot v. So you can write mg as minus mg j cap. So it would be minus mg into vy. And what is vy? Vy you write as uy minus gt. So what you can write, the power varies. Clearly it varies linearly with the time. The power is not negative for complete path, it is negative for the first half when it is going up, and positive for the negative half, and for the complete it is 0. So the most appropriate option is A. Work done by the static friction on an object may be positive, must be negative, must be 0, none of these. So you all remember, just look at this example. If we say, if there is a block placed and there is a sufficient friction, you pull this block up here, and if there is no slipping, this one will also accelerate. So it gains kinetic energy due to the work done by friction. So static friction can do positive work, and for the second block it can do negative also. So work done by static friction on object may be positive, may be negative, depends on the situation. So must options won't be taken, we will only talk of the maybe positive case here. Next. But for a system, just remember, for a system the sum total is going to be 0. The energy remains of the system remains conserved, not for particular object. So that's a distinction you should remember. A running man has the same kinetic energy as that of a boy of half his mass. This is a very famous question, and a nice question. People get stumped by it. The man speed up by 2 meter per second, the boy changes the speed by x meter per second, so that the kinetic energies of both are equal again. Then the x is in. So the running man has the same kinetic energy as that of a boy of half his mass. So it is half m, let's say, let me call it v1 square would be equal to half m into, let's call it as v2 square, and m is what? Half of his mass. So I can write this m as m by 2 into v2 square. So what I can say about the initial velocities, I can say this m and m goes, this 2 and 2 goes. So what I can say, v2 is root 2 times v1. Okay, now the man speed up by 2 meter per second, so its speed will become v1 plus 2 for sure. So its speed would be half m v1 plus 2 whole square, and the boy changes the speed by x, so definitely he will also be increasing the speed for sure. So by x, so it would be v2 plus x, that is root 2 v1 plus x, and again both are equal. So half m goes. So what we can have, root 2 times v1 plus 2 is equal to root 2 v1 plus x. So root 2 v1 goes, so x is equals to 2 root 2. So question comes out quite easily if you go by what it is given, write the proper equations. Next one. Particle is released from a height h. At a certain height, its kinetic energy is twice of its potential energy. Height and speed of the particle at this instant r. So it is assuming that the potential energy at the ground level must be 0. Its kinetic energy is 2 times its potential energy. So k is twice of u, and you know k plus u always remains constant, and that would be equal to mgh. So k is twice of u. So what I can say, 3u is equal to mgh. So that h dash height as measured from ground would be equal to h by 3. So the height would be h by 3 for sure. So we are left with, we are left with 3 options. Okay, and what would be the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is twice of u. That what I can say is twice of mg h by 3, what I can say. So what we have, half mv square would be 2 mg h by 3. So m and m goes, so v would be 4 gh by 3 root. So going by this, the option that I am looking is option B. That's the correct one. Next one. Block of 2 kg is at origin, it's equal to 0, going with speed 4 root 5 in the positive x. Only force acting is conservative and potential energy function is given like this. Its velocity when acceleration is minimum after t equal to 0. Acceleration is minimum, so what we can say, first calculate the force would be, you know, is minus du by dx. So differentiating it, what you will get, minus it would be 3x square minus 12x. Now so for force to be maximum or minimum, we have df by dx must be equal to 0. So 6 minus 12 is 0, that is x equal to 2. Now at x equal to 0, the potential energy function I can directly see is 15 joule, and kinetic energy would be half 2 into 4 root 5 whole square, that would be 80. So that is 80 joules. That means the total mechanical energy is 95 joules. Now at x equal to 2 meters, the potential energy would be minus 8 plus 6 into x square, that is 4 6 are 24 I suppose, plus 15. So this is 16 plus 15, that is 31 joules. So the kinetic energy would be 95 minus 31, that would be 64. Yes, 64 joule, that is half into 2 into v square. So v square is 64, so v comes out to be 8 meter per second for sure. So go for option A in this case. Next one. Speed v reached by the car of mass m driven with constant power p is given by. So where, I think after traveling distance x it wants to say. Okay, so whatever be it, so power is constant, the speed we reached by when driven with constant power. So power, so here basically we need relation with PV and x. So power is basically FVU, right? And force is mass times acceleration. Acceleration you can write as v dv by dx, because we are interested in v and x, so it better write it like this. So what you have, mv square dv by dx, so put it here p dx, and let's say integrate it from 0 to x, and let's say integrate it from 0 to v. So p into x would be m, what we are getting here, v cube by 3 if I am not wrong. Yes, okay. So what we have, v is equal to 3 px over m to the power 1 by 3. So go for option 1 to the power 1 by 3, which is option C here. Next one. Man places a chain mass m length L on a table slowly. Okay. Initially the lower end of the chain just touches the table. The man drops the chain when half of the chain is in vertical position. Then work done by the men in this process is going to be. Okay. So just look at it. First of all, we have a situation, this is the chain, let's say hanging like this, lower end touching it, and this length is L. Now the lower end of the chain touches, the man drops the chain, so drops the chain when half of the chain is in vertical position. Okay, so places a chain on a table slowly. So first he is putting it slowly till half is remaining and half has, let's say, remained like here. So this is L by 2. So first of all, what is the work done by the men? What is the work done by the men? Basically that you can say is the change in the potential energy thing, that is the work done, because the kinetic energy otherwise would have increased. So work done would be the change in the gravitational potential energy. Here what I can write, the best thing is take this reference position potential energy to be 0. So in this particular case, because the Cm is at the height, I can write potential energy to be mg by L by 2. This is the initial one. Now finally half of the chain is at rest, so only the half part is above, so mass is m by 2 and the Cm is at L by 4. So this energy is mg L by 8. So the loss in the gravitational potential energy, that is the work done, that would be negative definitely, because W external is delta U plus delta K. So that is U final minus U initial, that comes out as minus mgl by 8 minus mgl by, sorry, plus mgl by 8 minus mgl by 2. So 1 by 8 minus 1 by 2, LCM will be 8, mgl by 8 common, this is 1 minus 4 I think, so it is minus 3 mgl by 8. So that is the work done by the men, and that's option C. The question is asked nicely. Next one, only force that acts on a block along x-axis is like this. When the block goes from minus 2 to plus 4, the change in kinetic energy of the block is. So simply what we can say, the W is equal to delta K thing sort of you say. Now just look at the expression of the force. Force is minus 4 times 4 pi x square plus 2. This term is always positive, that means force is always negative. That means force is acting backwards and the block is going forward. So it's clear work done by the force is negative, and this is the only force, so W is delta K. So W force is delta K, so delta K will also be negative, so go for the option negative. If you have to solve it, the amount you have to integrate it, but there is no need because it is only asking about the sign. You can directly make it out from the function. Next one, you have a pendulum of mass small m pulled from position A by applying a constant force F equals mg by 3. Velocity at the point P shown is. So till A to B, just make sure how much horizontally it has traveled. So this distance is L, so what we can make it out, this would be L sine 37. So work done by the force you can make it out as F L sine 37. So this is mg by 3, L sine 37 you know is 3 by 5, so it is mgl by 5. Okay, and the vertical height it has risen, that would be equal to W, or you can write it as delta U or W gravity, whatever you can write. W gravity would be, you can say would be negative because it has gone up, so minus mgh. And what is h? H you can make it out as L minus L cos 37. That is a very standard thing, you all must be familiar with doing this. So this is 4 by 5, so this comes out as minus mgl by 5. Okay, so it means the work done by force and work done by gravity are exactly equal and opposite, so the velocity will be 0 because the net work done is 0. Initially it was 0, so final answer will be 0. That's the option, so go for option D in this answer. Next one, assume that the potential energy of spring is 0 when it is stretched by x naught. Okay, so reference is changed, so potential energy when it is compressed by x naught by 2 is, so just see, we always know delta U is half K x final square minus x initial square. So what I can write here, U at x naught by 2 minus U at x naught, or you write it as minus x naught by 2 compression, no meaning because ultimately you have to do the square thing. So what is x final square? X final is x naught by 2 whole square, negative, no meaning, you put it minus if you wish, minus x naught square, and this is taken as 0. So U at minus x naught by 2 would be half K, what it would be x naught square by 4 minus x naught square, so it would be minus 3k x naught square by 8 I suppose, so go for option C in this particular case. Next one, always remember change in potential energy is independent of the reference and the reference value chosen. Simple pendulum is released from A as shown. If MNL represents the mass of the bob and the length of the pendulum, the gain in kinetic energy at B is, so that is the loss in the gravitational potential energy. Simply you can say, so you are interested in finding only this height, so you can say the delta U loss, that is kinetic energy gain, that would be equal to mgh, and h you can directly say is L cos 30, that is root 3 mgl by 2. So it's an easy thing, so go for option C. It just checks your basics, nothing else. Next, body of 3 kg acted upon by a constant force displaced by s meter given by the relation s is t square by 3, where t is in second, work done by the force in 2 seconds. Standard question, just apply work energy theorem. W net is delta K, which is half m. Here velocity at t equal to 2 seconds square minus velocity at t equal to 0 seconds square. So you have to find the speed at the 2 instant. How you find speed? V is dx by dt. So d is by dt. So 1 by 3 and t square it would be 2t, so it is 2t by 3. So v at t equal to 0, it comes out as 0. V at t equal to 2 seconds comes out as 4 by 3. So the required answer of yours would be half into 3 into 4 by 3 whole square, that is 16 by 9, 0, 0. So what we are left with? We are left with 8 by 3 joules. So go for option A, again a standard work energy problem. Pump is required to lift 600 kg of water per minute. So per second I can make it out as 600 by 60, that is 10 kg per second, from a well 25 meter deep and to eject with speed 50 meter per second. The power required is, simply you can say power is the total work done dw by dt, and total work done is total energy change, which you write as the work done that you can write as the amount of height it is raising up. So what we have, this would be the work done is mgh plus half mv square, Here the V and H are constant, mass is varying, so you directly write it. You must have remembered it, dm by dt into gh plus v square by 2. And what is dm by dt? That is 10 kg per second. G is 10, H is 25 plus v square 50 square by 2, which is 2500 by 2. So 10, this is 250, and this comes out as 1250, so it comes out as 10 into what becomes 1500, so it is 15,000 or 15 kilowatt. Go for option B. Standard question, you should directly use this because you must have practiced such question. Force exerted by a compression device is given by this. F is, okay, what it is, kx x minus L. Okay, L is the maximum possible compression and x is a compression, k is a constant. The work required to compress the device by a distance d will be maximum when. Okay, so in general, what is the work done required for compression? That we can directly say the work done by spring, and that negative thing that you can write it as, so it would be kx, the opposite force would be L minus x. Let me take it like this, L minus x dx from 0 to x. So what we will have, it would be k Lx, so Lx becomes Lx square by 2 minus this becomes x cube by 3 from 0 to x, so it would be like this, k what we will have, x square L by 2 minus x cube by 3. Now what you require? You require it to be maximum. So for maximum, dw by dx has to become 0, so differentiated, k is common, x square L by 2 would be xl, x cube by 3 would be x square equal to 0, so that is L equal to x. That is what we are getting. So the maximum work required would be L equal to x, I think, by the d, when maximum and d is equal to L. Okay, so option is given, so that is equals to d. Okay, next one. Boy of 1 kg moves from point 234 to 325 during the motion of body of force is constant. The work done is simply what you can directly say, fx delta x plus fy delta y. You need not to bother about anything else. So 2 delta x is 1, 3 minus 2. This is minus 4, and delta y is 2 minus 3, which is minus 1. So it is also positive. So it is plus 6 joule. Again, just looks difficult, not difficult. Now adult person weighing 600 Newton raises the center of gravity of his body by 0.25 meter while taking each step of 1 meter length in jogging. If the jogging is for 6 kilometer, calculate the energy utilized by him in jogging, assuming that there is no energy loss due to friction of ground and air. Assume that the body of the adult is capable of converting 10% of energy intake in the form of food. Calculate the energy equivalents of food that would be required to compensate energy utilized for jogging. Oh. So first of all, in a single step, it is traveling 1 meter. So what we can say, it has total traveled 600 steps. So total steps would be 6000 in a single step. So first of all, in single step, the work needed is 600 into mg, h is 0.25. So 600 into 0.25, that's what I can directly say in a single step, that is 600 by 4, 150 joules. So total energy he requires, first of all, this is the output one, that would be 150 into total steps 6000. Now only 10% is utilized, so input would be 10 times of this. So 10 into 150 into 6000. So what you get, 15 6 and 90, I suppose, 1 2 3 4 5. 90 into 10 to the power 5 joules, so it is 9 into 10 to the power 6 joules. Again, simple question, just you need to be careful about solving it. So this was the paper, and it was a genuine one, not that difficult like the NEET ones.